Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Acacia, also known as The Root of Evil, a Korean horror film from 2003 that was directed by Park Hi-hyeong, who has a short but very impressive filmography. He directed Whispering Corridors, the first one, Secret Tears, which is a very good film, and Gangster High, which is also very good. After 10 years of marriage, a couple live a seemingly happy and secure life together. Unable to conceive, they decide to adopt a young boy. Now, quiet and introverted, he spends most of his time playing underneath the acacia tree in their backyard, but strange occurrences begin to manifest. Now, this is a very dramatic horror film that focuses primarily on the conflicts between the characters. At the beginning of the film, you can sense that the topic of adoption is a touchy subject between the husband and wife. The wife is obviously upset for being unable to conceive a child, and the husband is quite understanding when he brings up the subject of adoption, but it's still kind of an uncomfortable situation. You could feel that early on. But in the end, they do decide to adopt a kid. So they go to an orphanage and choose the kid who draws creepy pictures. Okay, this is the kid they choose. I understand, the wife has certain reasons why she might be attracted to that, but still, you chose the kid who draws the creepiest pictures. All right, but things go well for a while, but then the grandmother treats the kid like crap because he's not a biological grandson. So she's the wench of the film, and that does not help matters. Now, dramatically in this film, there's kind of a lot going on here. It does not even include the more significant events that happen later. I mean, this family has its problems during the first half of the film, but the problems just escalate later on. These relationships are really kind of put to the test during the latter half of the film. And that is the strength of Acacia. The drama and the characters and the themes. And it's a solid foundation to build a horror film on. Now, if you listen to the plot synopsis that I've told you, you might be worried this is going to be a generic, creepy kid movie. There's nothing to worry about. This is not what that movie is. Don't worry about that aspect at all. There are no Japanese onryo ghosts at all as well. That cliche is absent. The scares in this film are sufficient, but nothing really that memorable. I think the two most memorable scenes in the film involve lots of red yarn. So they're more visually driven, really. There's one scene that uses CGI ants. Does not really work very well, but it's a fairly short scene, not a big problem. But again, Acacia is a horror film that is driven by its drama. The horror is simply meant to supplement the dramatic elements. And to its credit, there are a few dramatically intense horror scenes near the end of the film. But if you're looking for visceral, terrifying, purely entertaining scare tactics, this film might not scratch your itch. All right? Camera work is pretty fluid and performances are good. Pacing, gonna be honest, slower than molasses in January, folks. All right? So this film is quite slow. So the viewer needs to be patient with this if they're going into it. Now, near the midpoint of the film, the story begins to piece some things together. The conflicts begin to intensify, and the atmosphere kicks up a notch, even though most of the film was actually shot during the day, which is pretty interesting from a visual standpoint. But, for years, and I've talked about this before on my channel, there's a subsection of Asian horror fans who absolutely love this film. Love it. They place Acacia on a pedestal with the greats. They put it up there with some of the best Asian horror films of all time. Okay. Now, I personally do not think it's quite that spectacular, at least in terms of pure entertainment value. But it's certainly good quality stuff. All right, and it's worth a viewing. So I do recommend this film. I just think going into it, you got to kind of know what you're getting into. It's a slower paced film. It's very dramatic in its foundations. The themes at times could be portrayed as female-centric. So if some of those things are interesting to you, it might elevate you up. It might be a favorite of yours, okay? I just feel like entertainment value-wise, it falls a bit short. So that's my thoughts on this one. And as always, I will see you next time.